Hey guys, my name is Ty from Nepeto. I'm a six-figure Amazon seller, and today I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit about credit, especially in regards to Amazon FBA, why it's important, why you need to know about it, how you can build your credit and use it to scale and leverage your Amazon business. So let's get into it. So, what are the reasons you need credit? So, first of all, is to scale your business. So, especially if you don't have a lot of cash, credit could be a great way to scale your business if you're doing it the right way and you're doing it smart. If you're going to use a bunch of credit and you don't know what you're doing, as we'll go into later, it's not going to be great for you, and you're going to want to be very conservative, especially in the beginning with credit. But first of all, it's to scale. All right. Second is rewards. All credit, not all credit cards, but most credit cards have some type of rewards benefits. Um, that could be in the form of cash back, travel points, stuff like that. That's especially if you're buying a lot of inventory, it adds up pretty quickly. So that's another large factor. Lastly is protection. So if you buy something with a credit card, it's a lot. If someone were to steal your credit card information, especially with companies like Amex, they're very good at alerting you, and you're not liable for that because you're not liable for that in the case of someone stealing your credit card. In cases of where it's your bank account and your debit card, most times they can still recover that and it's still going to be fine. But with credit cards, it's a lot easier and it's a lot better in cases of your information getting stolen. And especially buying from some sites, if it may be sketchy, there's a lot more layers of protection in regards to credit cards than there is to debit cards. That's another reason I use PayPal on all sites when I'm buying stuff. It's just an additional layer of protection on top of that. So, what are the factors that affect your credit? So, it's made up of a variety of factors. Not the largest factor is payment history. Obviously, you want to pay your bills on time, pay your credit cards on time. 30% of that is amounts owed, also known as utilization. You want to keep this number low, below 30%. You want to use less than 30% of your credit available. If you really want to grow your score the fastest, have used less than 10% of your available credit. Next is the length of your credit history. If you're young, like me, you really have to just stick it out. There's not much you could do other than just keep like having credit open and just waiting it out. New credit, that's like hard inquiries. If you're getting a bunch of new credit, your score is going to go down because you look like a flight risk if you're just going out and getting a bunch of new credit. The last one, 10%, is types of credit in use. So not just credit cards, maybe credit card, car loan, some other maybe student loans, something like that. I'm not saying go get a bunch of different debt out just to fill this 10%, but that's what that's going to be composed of. I would say one of the most important things when building credit, especially if you are building credit for business, is you want to build relationships with banks. So make when you make your business for Amazon, make a business bank account. I have mine with Chase. I recommend you stick with kind of one bank that you're going to do a lot of your stuff through. So, I built a business account with Chase. I would do something like that or another bank that you trust. And then later down the line, if you're with them for a while, then you'll have that relationship built where you could call up the bank and they'll know that you've been with them for a while, and it helps you in terms of, maybe qualifying for some of their business cards or some of their other credit cards. It makes it a lot easier when you get the foot in the door, and then it helps you in future ventures. So that's the same with Capital One and American Express, as we'll go into. You kind of want to get your foot in the door, and then that'll help you with some of those higher up cards and stuff like that. So I'm going to go over the progression that I kind of took in credit cards and credit for Amazon, and this may be of use to you. So when you start out and you don't have a lot of credit, especially if you're young, one of my first cards was a Discover It Student. I recommend getting something like that, like a Discover card. They're easy to get, especially for students, young people. You'll have like $1,000 limit. Just don't use it all. Just use a little bit of it, just enough, buy a little something here and there that you're already going to buy and just pay it off in full, just so you have that credit building up. For business-wise, you're going to want to get a business credit card. However, if you're young and you don't have great credit, it's going to be hard to get a lot of those. So I recommend the Capital One Spark Classic, Spark 1% Classic right here. That's going to be a great card. They give that to anyone, even if you have bad credit, or no credit and you're young. So I would get that. They're going to give you a low limit to start, and then just use that. And this is where that relationship building comes into place. So because you'll be with Capital One, you'll see that you're using the card, you're paying it off on time. That helps you down the line, because one of the best cards in the Amazon space, and pretty known in the business space, is the Capital One Spark 2% Cash Plus. I have this card. It's a charge card, meaning that there's no preset spending limit. That doesn't mean they can't limit your spending power. With all charge cards, they can still limit your spending power. It's just so you don't, go out and charge, millions of dollars on it and something crazy like that. So obviously, there's no preset spending limit though. So there's people in the Amazon space. If you look around on Instagram, some of the big guys that have this card right here, and they're spending, $200 to $300 a month on this on inventory. Obviously those are professionals. They've been in the space for a while. Obviously, don't do something like that if you're starting out, and they probably won't let you. But this is a very popular card. And going back to rewards, why this is a great card is it's 2% cash back on everything. If you spend $100,000 with this card, you're going to get $2,000 back in the span of a year. If you spent $1 million on inventory, then you're going to be getting $20,000 back in rewards. So that's something that's really nice, that rewards factor. So I have this card. So start with this, and as you're using it, you'll be able to get this card once you build up your card a little bit. The cards in between these. So the cards that aren't this card are going to show up on your personal credit. This card will not show up on your personal credit because all of their business cards, not all of them don't show up on your personal credit. So what I mean by that is this one, and then there's two other ones, the Spark 1.5%, and then a few other ones. Those also show up on personal credit. However, this one doesn't. So, be careful, because if you're using it for inventory, you're buying a lot of inventory, your utilization will get affected if you are using a business card that reflects on your personal credit. I don't recommend that. Getting a card that shows up on your personal unless you need to, like this one. Another card that's good is the PayPal business card. Check that out. That doesn't show up on personal credit. That's a great business card. I didn't put that on here, but look into that, the PayPal business card. And then Amex is very big in the Amazon space and in general. So there is an American Express, I'm sure you've heard of it, a platinum card and a gold card. This is a personal card. I got this card because they have a program called Apply with Confidence. So even if you apply and get rejected, it doesn't hurt your credit score. So I did that because I had experience in the past with getting rejected from Amex because of my age. And you'll notice if you're young and you don't have a lot of credit history, even if you have a good score, still getting rejected by Amex. So I did this and they approved me. And through that, I'm able to get my foot in the door. So I recommend, if you can't get approved for the business cards, maybe do something like this, or maybe the gold card. It's a lower annual fee. It's better for restaurants. Do something like that. Get your foot in the door. Going more into the Amex family, this is of the business cards. You've got the platinum, the gold. If you want specifics on all these, I would go on Amex's website. I'm not going to go through all of these. However, the most popular ones you'll see in the Amazon space are the platinum, the business, and the plum. The reason the plum is so big is it's mainly for inventory-based businesses like Amazon, because they give you an additional 60 days to pay back, like 60 days past the due date to pay it back at no penalty, no interest. Be very cautious, because a lot of people get this card, but you don't want to really be 2-3 months behind on paying back your inventory. That's really not a good habit to get into. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Like I say, be pretty cautious with credit. But here's some of the cards. A lot of these are credit cards, and these are charge cards. So let's get into Amazon lending. So Amazon has a lending program. You can look into it some more. and they'll start, as you start selling, they're going to start offering you loans. I'm not a huge fan of Amazon lending, but I would say if you're going to use it, if you need the money, only get the loan if you're going to be able to use all of it on inventory at the time of taking out the loan. Do not take out the loan if you cannot use 100% of the loan at that time on profitable inventory. Otherwise, it's just a waste and you're paying back a loan pointlessly that you aren't able to fully use. And don't use it to, pay back credit card debt or anything not Amazon related. So, be cautious. If you don't need the money, don't take it just so you could try to scale and get your numbers higher. You know, it's take it, just be careful, which brings us back into risks and the importance of cash. Credit is a tool. It's not meant to, I wouldn't recommend just getting out a bunch of credit to just try to buy a bunch of inventory and scale as fast as possible. You could get burned. A lot of people in the Amazon space have gotten burned that way. And I would stay away from trying to just skyrocket your sales instantly through getting out a bunch of credit, because it is a risky game and it's not for the faint of heart. I would highly recommend you guys just practice patience in your journey, and with your skills growing, you will grow as well in your sales and your expertise, and then you could start exploring more credit options and using more credit. But especially at the beginning, I'd be very cautious, guys. I just want to give you this information so that you have it. But, keep a strong cash position, especially if you're starting out. Get the hang of things. Learn how to source well. Go use Nepeto. Try it out. Find some profitable inventory and just get the hang of things. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I hope you guys learned a little bit about credit today, and you guys have a great one. Thank you.